All right, Taurus, welcome to your monthly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for May of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link because the signs are different. All right, Taurus, so this month I'm going to talk about the major events of the month. We've got a new moon, full moon, of course. We've got planet shifting houses, of course. And different though, we got some forward moving energy. We have Jupiter going direct, we have Mercury going direct this month, and the final aspect between Jupiter squaring up to Saturn. So I'm going to talk about these major events. If you do want a more specific look, do stay tuned for your weekly where I go into the details of the week for this month. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is that at the beginning of the month, we've got the Sun, Mercury Retrograde, and Venus, your ruler, in your 12th house. So this is the house of spirituality. You're really entering into this month in I think, a very reflective time, especially with that Mercury retrograde in the 12th. So it's good to kind of re-examine your connection to God, your connection to life, your connection to the present moment, and maybe get some of that alone time, some of that time out, or whatever it is that you do to connect with that. And you'll find that there's a lot of insight coming in this month, probably, in terms of where you can have more acceptance in your life, to really accept that divine process. And anything that you do in terms of like spiritual practices, spiritual exercises, I think can be a tremendous source of energy for you. And I think with your ruler there, you could probably find that you enjoy them quite a bit, or maybe just relaxing, or whatever it is that you do to come into that state of being. So that's going to be the beginning of the month in that sense. Now the first major event will be the new moon on the 6th, and that's going to be in that 12th house. So you know, around the new moon, especially in a water house like this, it's a good time to go within and just kind of plant seeds, reflect, see where you want to, see yourself in 6 months in terms of your spiritual process, your spiritual evolution. It's not very conscious, but it's something that you can kind of sit with in terms of where you can develop spiritually and have that, again, acceptance in your life. So some things to think about, because this new moon is going to be very supportive. It is forming a kite with a lot of different areas in the sky, making it very nice. It is conjoining up to your ruler Venus as well too. So there's this newness about you, right? And it's happening in the deep psyche and the deep spiritual self, but it's very much going to be reflecting in your outward self more than likely with that conjunction with Venus. Now on the 9th, we have Jupiter going station direct, which is fantastic because he's been retrograde in Leo, helping us reflect more about, for you, your home, family, and your health. So this area is very expansive for you, but the past roughly 5 months, it's been a bit more of an internal type of reflection, internal type of opportunity that you might be thinking about or considering with these areas. So now a lot of this is moving forward. And certainly by the second half of the month, you do see a lot more of that forward moving momentum for you to cultivate your home, your family, your roots, or your health in life. And I think those are great areas to focus on. Now on the 14th, we've got we've got the sun going into your sign. Okay, so happy birthday for those of you watching for your sun sign who've got your birthdays this month. But here, all of you, regardless if you're watching this for your moon or ascendant, you've got this energy now that's starting to cultivate the second half of the month, coming out of a more spiritual or working behind the scenes kind of area. Now you're coming into the scene, right? So there's a lot of this prana and energy you'll start to feel, especially by the 19th. I feel like once your ruler Venus goes into Taurus, okay, and at that point you guys could be feeling good, looking good, maybe connecting with relationships and all of that stuff, which usually comes as a result of coming a little bit more out into the open, out of a more spiritual time and in a much more active time. So it's a good second half, I feel like, for action and starting to move forward. And this is going to be the area of the new moon for you next month, right? So there's plenty of new beginnings with that, but I think it's good to just kind of start getting that momentum here this second half. Now on the 21st, we have a full moon in Libra and Scorpio right on the cusp, and this is your 6th and your 7th house. So there is a culmination here this month involving relationships on one level, and also in terms of your work or your daily activities on another. So if you can reflect back to the last 6 months of your life, if there's anything new that you started in that area or new direction your life took involving relationships and your daily activities, this could be a high point with that. And I feel like with this awareness, it could be very motivating. It is going to be conjoining up to Mars, And although Mars is retrograde, there's a bit of this reflection about this. In fact, Mars is going to go back into Libra, okay? So there's going to be this sort of reflection, I think, this first half about relationships, and then maybe that energy starts to move forward once Mars goes back into Libra. And then the second half, this shift where I think you'll be probably reflecting more on the routine, the diet, the regiments, the work, and what you can do to continue to move forward in this area. Because at the end of the day with the full moon, there's that illumination, there's that awareness, there's that insight that's coming in for you to hear, take action, and learn through trying different things through that reflection, right? You reflect, you get information, you try something new. And that's a lot like what this full moon looks like. Now on the 22nd, Mercury goes direct. So, you know, with all this reflection in your 12th house, you'll probably find that whatever it is, it's not always conscious, but often it is with Mercury, because Mercury is a very practical, very mental planet. So you might gain some spiritual insights, you might gain some understanding about things in terms of what we would generally call the spiritual aspects of your life. But whatever it is, you'll probably feel more of this forward moving energy in terms of, okay, maybe connecting to the present moment, okay, really being grateful for what you have, having that acceptance. And you'll find that that's really supporting you as now Mercury gets closer to your sign. And like I said, going into next month, there's a lot more of this energy leading into new beginnings for you guys in a very major sense with the new moon and other planets in your first house. But I would certainly use this month to dive deep, to go within, have that peace, have that alone time, and I think you can learn a lot in the process, whether consciously or just intuitively in that sense. And maybe even listening to your dream space could be good too. Now on the 26th, we have the last aspect between Jupiter squaring up to Saturn. This has been going on since August of last year. So there's this final culmination now of a lot of this patient work that we've been doing. Jupiter's been really helping you see the opportunities, I feel like, in terms of home, family, or health with your roots. But Saturn's been here making sure that you're doing it right. You're doing it patiently and with maturity, and you're seeing the long road with it. So it's a final aspect with that, and I think at this point we've all got a pretty good handle on what Saturn is quote-unquote teaching us with this, and what you can do to really build and concretize these possibilities which are unfolding for you in that roots sector of your life. Now you can look at it the other way too. You know, you've got Saturn in your 7th house of relationships. So Saturn's been showing you the importance of having the maturity with relationships, the discipline, the healthy amount of detachment, right? And the long-term perspective with relationships, working hard and being persistent and patient with that stuff. So that's also a part of this, and you could be seeing the opportunities in that as well. But it's through forming your relationships, it's through taking relationships seriously that I think you'll find a lot of opportunities to really connect to the personal aspects of life, which is that 4th house. All right, Taurus, so have a fantastic month. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.